It's on, it's on, it's on, it's on. Huh? Okay. So, I have a new roll sheet. Well, maybe you'll be able to Xerox it and get a different thing to head out. So I don't think it's worth calling 150 names or something. Any problems that you're facing? So we said that we have an exam next Thursday. Does that everyone agree to that? Okay. The old days during the Vietnam War, they decided not to grade people and stuff, but they found that it didn't work too well. People stopped doing any work. So they went back to grading about 20 years ago. So you're the heirs of the return to grading. I think it probably keeps people on their toes. I mean, I'm not a great enthusiast for exams, but I'm not an enthusiast for not having them either. So probably keeps people moving. We need people to keep us moving. So what will we put on this exam? I think basically, I'll talk more about after we finish today, but basically so you can think about when I have questions or something to me. I think you're holding a session, right, Noel? Your usual drink 'em up session, studies and so on?
Well, I think a lot of them get something out of it.
Yeah, what time is your session?
7 o'clock on Tuesday.
Okay, you're not conflicting with a debate or anything like that.
Oh, are we?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Which debate?
Is there one Tuesday then?
One Friday. One Friday, so I don't think it's
Friday. I don't think you're conflicting. Anyway,
I thought-
those debates are so dull, I don't think you're missing anything.
Well, I think they do 3, don't they? I don't know. I don't know. I think there's 3 though.
No Monday night football or anything. That's pretty dull these days too. I got tired of Monday night football about 25 years ago. They just didn't get my message. So okay, Tuesday you're gonna hold. Where do you meet them, in the saloon?
In the Nugget.
Yeah, in the saloon. Okay. Right, and we'll have 2 out of 3 questions, like I said last time. That you'll write something about what you think about the movie Milagro, or Carlos Castaneda, or the Bhagavad Gita. There may be some comparison of these things. There may not be. And basically, you'll hold forth. You can't really say much in an hour and 15 minutes anyway. So I should think whatever you get out that sounds reasonable will sort of make you survive. The more reasonable it sounds, obviously you'll probably get a little higher grade. The more insane it sounds, the lower your grade will be. If nothing gets out, well, then it probably doesn't make a good impression. So the main thing is to get some thoughts down on the paper. That's how to get through the exam. That's all one is asking for, some thoughts that have something in some relative matter to do with the subject matter we're asking about. Isn't that right, Noel? Just something that looks like you've looked at this, thought about it, done some work in connection to it, and have some insight to impart. And then a few short answers just to keep you on your toes. I don't want to give them away now because there's so few things that I can imagine to ask you about that would be short answers and not multiple choice, something you'd have to identify, something like Krishna. I don't think I'd ask you that because it's too obvious, but Krishna, 2 sentences or less. A Hindu god that's considered to be a man also, or a man who's considered to be a god, who teaches the science of meditation or yoga. That would be sufficient to identify who Krishna was, I think, to show that you know who he was. Having said that, it won't be Krishna. All right, that's the kind of thing we'll ask. And we'll have 3 of those exams throughout the term. One now, one another third of the way through, and one at the end. And that's it. Okay. Any, oh, God, you guys are all, oh, that's good. That's good. All right, let's see. So we left, where did we leave off? Do you remember? What chapter was we on in this? Well, it's getting boring, isn't it? Maybe we're missing something here, but it's getting pretty repetitive. Let's just look a little more at this. 12. Those who set their hearts on me and ever in devotion worship me and who have unshakable faith, these are the best yogis. Those who worship the imperishable, the infinite, the transcendent, the unmanifested, the omnipresent, the beyond all thought, the mutable, the unchanging, the ever one, who in all power of their soul and harmony, and the same devotion for all who find in the good of all beings, they reach the truth in my very self. So you learn about the self through Krishna, and then through that you get in touch with the end supreme. They surrender all works to me with pure devotion, meditate on me, adore me, and soon deliver them from the ocean of death and life in death, because they have set their heart on me. So to be liberated from the ever-recurring cycle, life is considered to be suffering, you see, not pleasurable. I mean, most of us don't want to be liberated from life, really. Most of us say, this is the only chance we have, let's get to that. Let's do the best we can with it. But these folks probably had they felt life was a pretty sad affair. And also death was even worse, apparently. So the main thing was to get out of life and death both. So that's one way of putting it in. As you can see, these religions don't speak to me too much. But I don't consider myself necessarily the final word or representative. So you have to be the one to judge these things, how they speak to you. I mean, I just, the reason I sound negative is I don't like sacred cows. I don't like to make sacred cows out of whatever religion is. You know, I think people have to think for themselves, and I also think new religions are necessary for that. You can't keep holding on to the same old tired cliches. People will grow, and circumstances change. And it's time that new things came into being. But that's a personal feeling that I have. Let's look here now in the next part of this 13 here, line 10. Same devotion to me. He's very egotistical, you know. Keep on devoting, but it's a symbolic devotion, so I don't think we can blame poor Krishna here. A constant yearning to know the inner spirit, a vision of truth. What's the end of wisdom? When a man knows this, he goes beyond death, he is Brahman. I think we get the idea. If you get in touch with Brahman, you don't die anymore. You don't even die at all. You go beyond death. So everything here is aimed at conquering death. That seems to be their main worry. I guess a lot of us worry about that too. Light of consciousness comes to him through infinite powers of perception. He is beyond all. He supports all. He is invisible. He is one and all. He is the light of all lights. So, okay, we get it. 24, line 24. Some by the yoga of meditation, or if you like, by the benefit, I don't like the word grace, it's too familiar in another environment, by the benefit of spirit, see the spirit in themselves. Some by the yoga of the vision of truth, others by the yoga of work. So these are different kinds. I think the yoga of the vision of truth would be that Sankhya yoga. And the yoga of work would be the karma yoga. One is an intellectual process, the more is a much more dutiful process. This book is advocating